Wow, guys, what a show. Yeah, I'm saying that again, probably coming out of another NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. Man, after the show we got at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, the build we got for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, I was not afraid at all to set my expectations high. I set them very high for this show. Like, I was expecting this show to be on the level as TakeOver New Orleans. Did it outdo TakeOver New Orleans? To me, it's still a tough question. I still can't decide. But of course, let's get into this, guys. What's going on? As always, this is the Club with the Man 1993 coming at you for my live review of NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, 2018. That just ended probably about 25 minutes ago, whatnot. Thank you all again for tuning in. I know I didn't really have too many people really tuning in live for my live reactions, but it's okay. I still had fun doing those tonight. I did live reactions for the two matches that I knew would be like the matches of the night, or at least competing for matches of the night. At this point, I still can't decide which one it was. I'll lean towards that main event, but definitely Ricochet and Velveteen Dream did not cease disappoint at all. Maybe could used a little bit more, a couple more minutes from them, maybe, but man, this is what the show needs. I said during one of my live reactions, I literally said, Vince, Road Dogg, Kevin, Bucktooth, done. All you stupid head writers up on the main roster, do me a huge favor. Watch this show to see storytelling. This show was just unreal with the freaking storytelling. I was blown away. Really, I cannot decide. I'll probably show by the end if I could mention which takeover I think was better so far, New Orleans or Chicago. But man, let's get right into this, guys. We have the code in the live chat that the takeover was awesome, better than New Orleans. He thought it was better than New Orleans. That's awesome, man. I mean, I'm still trying to decide. I'll explain why at the end. So let's get right into the show. Let's just talk about it right from the beginning. We opened up with the NXT tag team. The thing also about that, also too, is here I was 5 for 5 tonight. I'm not even joking. I was literally 5 for 5. I didn't just make it up. I was 5 for 5 tonight. Even though the outcome for the main event didn't quite get right, because I thought EC3 was going to interfere, but he didn't, which is okay with me because I'm going to mention my idea for what I think should happen with the fallout between the feud between Gargano and Ciampa at the end also. But anyways, the first match, I printed the order of the matches right, was the NXT tag title match. The Undisputed Era, the NXT tag team champions, with the North American champion Adam Cole and their corner taking on the team of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. At first, throughout most of the match, to a surprise, Undisputed Era was getting, the best reaction despite being the heels. Like, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch didn't really get much of a reaction at all at first, which I felt bad because, the two of them, yes, they're probably, still on the upcoming stages of being a tag team. But, I give them credit. They're definitely two underrated talents, I feel, in NXT. They both remind me of Cesaro. They both wrestle a style very similar to Cesaro's. They're physical, they're bald, they're quick. They put on a great showing here. In most of the beginning of the match, Undisputed Era was dominating. Like, they were dominating them big time. But then Lorcan and Burch were getting some offense in on them. There were some moments where we thought that they were going to come away with the win. Of course, one of them was when they hit their finisher and Adam Cole pulled Kyle O'Reilly out of the ring, and after that, the referee kicked him out of the match. So it's just 2-on-2 now between O'Reilly and O'Reilly, Strong, Burch, and Lorcan. Playing out a couple other good spots in the match, but I just remember it was a lot of great back and forth action, a lot of great near falls, and despite and there was a part in the match where I thought Undisputed Era was going to come out with the win. I mean, Undisputed Era was going to drop the titles because Lorcan and Burch had them in their, both of them, like O'Reilly and Strong, in their finishing submissions, which can remind me of the end, and it always reminds me of the end of the match at TakeOver Toronto between DIY and the Revival. So I I thought maybe they were going to pull out the win there. They did not, though. I think it was O'Reilly who kind of like rolled out of the submission and started kicking whoever was putting Strong in it, submission in the jaw. Eventually, though, they would come up with the win, though, as Undisputed Era did win the match. Afterwards, though, and of course, knowing what happened in WrestleMania weekend, all the turns we got. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch stood to the ring and helping each other up, and I was happy this happened. But they got like a round of applause for show respect, because they did again put on a great showing. This was an example of someone, as I mentioned, I made a big reference to Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. Someone who could use like a big victory came away looking strong in a loss, like gaining the respect from the crowd and saying, "Hey, you guys are true stars." And that's exactly what happened at the end with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And thinking, don't tell me we're going to try to pull yet another heel turn or something like that. But I'm like, it'd be too early to split them up. But that was not the case, though. It was just a nice sign of respect from the crowd, pretty much, saying they won them over. Pretty much, even though they lost, they had a great effort in there, which I definitely agree. But as I did, Undisputed Era retains the tag titles. Now, of course, my question is, though, is who's going to challenge them next? The War Raiders, Street Profits? Not sure, because for months, like since the beginning of the year, have been predicting that the Undisputed Era should at least hold the tag titles until TakeOver Brooklyn 4, which I think could be where they drop the tag titles. I'm not 100% sure, though. I feel like, the reign is, getting to the length where, it definitely needs to be. I don't know if they'll go on a little bit longer or whatnot, but whoever takes them off of them should definitely be built up very well. So we'll see what happens, but a great opening tag match. Definitely, I'd say top 3, I feel, for match of the night, I'd say, was the tag title match between Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch and the Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Did you hear bullshit when Cole got ejected? Yes, I did. I honestly thought Burch and Lorcan had it, and I saw your predictions. Now I'm dreading tomorrow. I told you Lee would be there. Yes, you did. Was the heel Burch or Lorcan when they feuded against each other? They were still baby faces, pretty much. There was just a face on face, matches. The two of them just to gain respect, bring the best out of each other. So no one was pretty much a heel. I think the Street Profits will win the titles at SummerSlam or Survivor Series, and they are over with the crowd. They love them. And I definitely do agree with that. I'm just hoping – I just still worry that their momentum got slowed down, though, because I was not happy with how they treated them in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They did kind of make them look like a joke, especially in that match with the Authors of Pain. I remember Montez Ford was out there, trying to get Paul Ellering to take a drink from wherever their thing was, and he's shoved in the face, and then it was a roll. It was a huge ripoff. I still think AOP should have been gone as far into the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic as they did. I feel they made it a little bit predictable. The heel turn by Roderick Strong was not predictable. Also, by the way, I read a rumor the other day that apparently AOP hasn't been seen for a while because apparently they're having visa issues, I heard. So that's why apparently they haven't been on Raw. So if that's the case, that does suck. But thank you to Code for the stuff in the live chat. But let's move on to the next match, though. The next match was the first match I did live reactions for. Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. The line of anything you can do, I can do better. And Ricochet obviously thinks he's he's the king. He thinks he wants to work up eventually get a shot at the NXT Championship. And then Velveteen Dream would step in his way and say, "No, you're good. However, I'm even better than you." And boy, did this match capitalize. Start off a little bit slow, I felt, but I felt the pace was right on track where it needed to be. I felt. Ricochet, obviously known for the flips, was doing some sick moves. He did like a couple back flips, like literally over top of Velveteen Dream. Again, Ricochet is probably I think 5'9", 5'10". He's shorter. Like Velveteen Dream's like 6'2" or 6'3", and Ricochet was doing flips all over him left and right, like over top his head. Amazing stuff there. Also, I like the spot also where he kind of did that corkscrew spin. Over the top rope onto Dream. Dream tried to be doing some of his moves also as well. Same with Ricochet. He tried doing the Death Valley Driver and the Purple Rainmaker. Well, he didn't get as much. The reason why I feel like it didn't look as effective when when Ricochet did like the elbow drop, trying to do Velveteen Dream's Purple Rainmakers, because I've always said the Velveteen Dream, what makes his Purple Rainmaker look so good is how much height he gets on it. Ricochet didn't get as much height on it as I wanted him to. But another one of my favorite spots also in the match was when, again, like there were several Death Valley drivers in the match hidden by both Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. But my favorite one was still the one when Velveteen Dream did from the second rope. That was unreal. I love that spot, definitely. But yeah, again, the whole story of like, they're trying to, outdo each other, show that they can do each other's things too. But as Velveteen Dream would say, anything you can do, I can do better. And yes, that stupid little song like commercial going, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, I'm not going to start singing that again. But yeah, the match ended though wherever Velveteen Dream was going to try to hit, because before that, Ricochet tried hitting a backflip, like 630 or whatever it is, from like over on the turnbuckle, like halfway across the ring. But Velveteen Dream got his knees up. Oh, another spot I forgot also was in the middle of the match. Velveteen Dream did like some type of a suplex off of the apron, and Ricochet landed right on his back, square first, on the mat outside the ring. Like that hurt like hell, probably. And also, just the way with them, Velveteen Dream trying to take away, Ricochet's ability to do the flips, because he knows that's his bread and butter. But then again, the match ended when Velveteen Dream was trying to do a Purple Rainmaker all the way from pretty much a coast-to-coast Purple Rainmaker. Unfortunately, he screwed up and he didn't get him, and of course he hurt his elbow big time. And Ricochet got up onto the top rope and did his 630 splash throw, if you want to call it, to get the victory. And Ricochet gets the win. Does that mean Ricochet's going on to fight Aleister Black for the NXT Championship? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I'm not sure if it was a little too soon yet or not. I mean, I thought we maybe get a feud with Ricochet and EC3, maybe. I'm not sure. That was the only one I was predicting Ricochet to win the North American Championship. But again, I'm cool with Adam Cole winning it. But I don't know what's next. But again, I was definitely impressed. I was very happy. It did exceed the expectations I was hoping. I mean, again, maybe could have used just a couple more minutes. I felt like there's just one last little oomph that could have been in that match, I felt, but these guys still put on a hell of a show. They're two young guys that, I don't know how old Ricochet. I know Velveteen Dream is younger than me. He's only 22. But man, I was impressed. It was one of the two matches I was looking forward to in the show, and it definitely capitalized. So Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, hats off to you guys. You guys did awesome. Let's see here. They look like heels. Yeah, it's weird. Ricochet does the Death Valley Driver bomb better than Dream. His look better. That move that Ricochet did across the ring is a shooting star, the same move that Brock did and land on his head. Oh, yeah, it's right. For what I'm thinking. I thought they were going to shake hands. Next match is EC3 versus Black. They said on commentary that he is next in line. I think Keith Lee will dethrone Black. He reminds me of Samoa Joe. Maybe it could be the case. Ricochet is 28. Oh, wow. He's got a few years over me. Thanks for sharing that, South Dakota. But yes, bravo. Hats off again to Velveteen Dream and Ricochet on an awesome match at TakeOver. The next match, of course, probably was the weakest, but it was still a great match. The story was told, and again, it was probably the weakest out of all the matches, but the story was told exactly how it felt to be so. So it was the NXT Women's Championship match. It was Shayna Baszler, the champion, taking on Nikki Cross, the challenger. Now, a couple days ago, Dakota told me on the live, well, not on the live chat, but over a message. Apparently, there was rumors that they may be dropping the title off of Shayna Baszler, because apparently they're not impressed with their microphone skills. But I think it's complete bull, because I think Shayna Baszler is just fine on the microphone. It just gets the point across of what it needs to be. She's a bully, and she thinks she can do whatever the heck she wants, and she's intimidating. Of course, in the storyline here, with everybody intimidated by her, except for Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross loves to get hurt. She loves the pain. Like anything Shayna wants to dish out to her opponents, Nikki loves. Like, it's a weakness that Shayna Baszler need to overcome. And again, this match happened, Nikki was playing the mind games on Shayna Baszler, and like Shayna wasn't sure how to overcome them. Like, Nikki was like, literally had her back towards Shayna Baszler. I myself, would not want to have my back turned to a woman like Shayna Baszler, because I know Shayna Baszler probably could kick my ass if she wanted to. But Nikki continued playing the mind games, and again, Shayna just, you saw first, had to figure out a new way to try to overcome it. There wasn't too much to say though, but like eventually though, Shayna would avoid like all the mind games and whatnot, and outsmart her. But what I liked also was Nikki was smiling a lot of the times when Shayna was like putting her into like in the pain pretty much, and Nikki tried so hard to fight out of the Karafuda clutch towards the end. And what I liked is that Nikki was like, smile, like she's like trying to fight out. And it's like, she knew she pretty much was about to pass sideways, but she smiled. She smiled, and then she passed out and faded out, which is how Shayna Baszler retained the championship, which again, I felt should happen definitely. Because again, it just made Nikki look strong, and it was her being in great character, her being crazy and loving the chaos and whatnot. Again, just aside the fact that she enjoys what Shayna tries to do to her opponent, so she's not gonna hurt Nikki Cross, and Nikki was just showing like, hey, this is awesome, I love this. Pretty much, not much to say about it. Again, it was probably the weakest match on the card, but it was still good. Like again, like Nikki played the mind games very well on Shayna. Definitely have expose the weakness of a heel who didn't really have much of a weakness before. And I think it was definitely very well played, I thought. So like, what's next? Well, again, I mentioned the other day in my NXT review, I believe it was, that I think what should happen is there should be a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship at TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, and Dakota Kai. I really think, they got to keep Dakota Kai in the running somehow, but I think Bianca Belair is beyond ready to get a chance at the NXT Women's Championship. I think she's pretty much beaten pretty much almost everybody there is to beat for the most part. So, why not give it to her? I mean, maybe just Shayna and Kairi, since Kairi won her feud with Lacey Evans, but I still personally think that it should be Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai, and then either way, Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler for a championship, whether Dakota wins it at Brooklyn 4 or not. Survivor Series we have to see Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler. Just my long-term booking idea, but Shayna Baszler retains, as I definitely was predicting. So we're awesome there. Let's see here. What we got there? Looks like Ricochet is about to turn 30 in October. I think that was just the rumors on what I saw. I think Shayna looks like a guy. She pretty much does. What if Lorray beat Shayna and Cross kind of jobbed the Shayna? The match was too short. Kind of was. I gave the match 2.75 out of 5 stars. Still better than I give most matches. Saying gets to the next match, they said she was in line. Okay, I'm cool with it, happening then. I don't see Kairi winning it. Though. Yeah, I still think Dakota needs to be the one to dethrone Shayna Baszler, which I still think should be Survivor Series weekend, I feel, in my opinion. But that's a cool prediction note. Also, Dakota. The fourth match was the NXT Championship match. It was Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan. This whole storyline here of, Aleister Black, claiming he can get his best shot, which is the Black Mass. That's his knockout shot pretty much. But Aleister Black, but Lars Sullivan's pretty much trying to emphasize, you can't get that on me. And 4 weeks, it was proven that Lars Sullivan was not an easy guy to get the Black Mass on, because as I've been saying before, Lars Sullivan has been built to be an intelligent monster pretty much. He's not just some big guy going out there to face a smaller guy. Like we get how many of those matches on the main roster just doesn't really tell much of a story, but this did. Aleister Black is pretty much the MVP of NXT. However, he's never faced a guy like Lars Sullivan, big but intelligent and smart, a smart wrestler. And, Aleister Black's best shot was being booked as, not as easy to get. So, like, Black was trying to fight back, but Sullivan was keeping him down. And Black was just trying to, hang in there and whatnot, and just, make himself look strong but make Lars Sullivan look like a monster also as well. The ending was a little bit of a botch, though. Well, first, he went to hit a Black Mass on Sullivan a little bit earlier, and he didn't really get good grip on it. So what I liked also is Sullivan was trying to take out his best leg that he throws the Black Mass with. He wouldn't be quite as effective. But then towards the end of the match, though, he threw a Black Mass that hit Sullivan right in the shoulder. I don't think it was supposed to go down that low. It was supposed to hit him up in the face, at least get him down. But Sullivan did go down, so Black winded up and hit the Black Mass again one more time on Sullivan for him to knock him out to get the victory with the Black Mass and retain the NXT Championship. Now, I know people claim that botch kind of hurt just a little bit. However, though, I still thought, the psychologists played really good here in the story again with, Aleister Black Mass not being quite as effective on a guy like Lars Sullivan, and Sullivan, trying, do everything he can to, weaken the leg so that way, it wouldn't be as effective on him. But Aleister Black overcame it, and again, it still made Lars Sullivan look strong, but, he didn't quite come up with the victory this time. He suffers his first singles loss in NXT as well, but it's completely cool with me. Lars Sullivan's guy, Phil, who may not need to have a run the NXT Championship to get to the main roster, but I do definitely see, he's, developed himself to a huge star, and hopefully when he gets to the main roster, WWE will not ruin him. But good job to Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black on another good match. Yes, a lot of people say that botch kind of hurt a little bit, but, I still thought the story was well told there, and the psychology was played well there as well. Let me see here. Black busted them open, it looked like. I think so. Sullivan is no longer unbeaten. I do like how Percy said that Black is undefeated one-on-one competition. I like the little things like that by commentators. Me too, because technically Black has been pinned before when he was pinned with the in the fatal four-way for the number one contendership for the NXT Championship, the match that Gargano won, even though Black was beaten down by the Undisputed Era. But Gargano pinned him there. But so one-on-one, he hasn't lost yet. But in the fatal four matches, he has lost before. We got we had racist fans rocks for in the live chat. What's up? He said, I like the Prince. I love the Prince Puma pants for Dream versus Ricochet match. Oh yeah, as Dakota's, I forgot also Dream was pretty much dressed like Hulk Hogan when he came out in that match. I forgot to mention that. Thank you for the reminder as well, buddy. We had that, yeah. All right, guys, let's talk about it now. The main event. Yes, it does suck that there's two straight pay-per-views. Actually, let me think here. Since TakeOver War Games, 1, 2, 3, the last 4 pay-per-views. 3 of them have not been main evented by the NXT Championship, because at War Games, we had actually, you want to date back even further. Let me think here. Championship. Yeah, if you want to start in the past year from last year, TakeOver Chicago, Brooklyn, War Games, Philadelphia, New Orleans, and Chicago. The past 6 pay-per-views, only 2 of them have had the NXT Championship as the main event. Because TakeOver Chicago 1 didn't have the NXT Championship, but the Tag Team Championship, the Tag Team Ladder match, where Tommaso Ciampa did the turn, which, I agree it should have been on last. Even though I felt with that being on last, kind of gave it away that the turn was happening. But of course, nothing was going to be able to outdo that. And the way it was done, though, was still predictable again. TakeOver Brooklyn 4 and Brooklyn 3, it was McIntyre and Bobby Roode, which was kind of one of the weaker matches I've seen in NXT, in my honest opinion. That match, it was okay, but it wasn't one of the greatest matches I've seen in NXT. And then TakeOver War Games, it was the War Games match. Philadelphia, it was Almas and Gargano, which was definitely another 5-star classic. Yeah, that match was so good. I loved it. And of course, the unsanctioned match in New Orleans. And then at TakeOver Chicago this time, the Chicago Street Fight. Maybe TakeOver Brooklyn 4 also, but I will talk about that at the end of this street fight. Before the match, Candice LeRae came up to her husband, Johnny Gargano, and gave him a crutch and screamed at him to kick his ass. Johnny went out there with like a half a crutch in his hand. Out came Tommaso Ciampa with like a military-looking crutch in his hand. Again, no music. They got in there, and it was on. It was on, and they went to war. This match, again, like the thing of what made the TakeOver, the New Orleans match so good is the emotional side that it told. Like, you know, it wasn't quite as brutal as I hoped. It was definitely brutal, but not quite as brutal as I hoped for. But it was still a classic. This match was absolutely brutal. At the beginning of the match, Johnny's like, you know, throwing Tommaso like all over the place. He even went as far as he threw Tommaso over the announce table, and he took out Nigel McGuinness. Poor Nigel. I forgot to tweet about it, but you know, you took it like a man, Nigel. But you know, it's something you got in the way there. There was weapons used very well in this match: garbage cans, garbage lids. How many times did Ciampa take the garbage can lids and like throwing a shining wizard with the garbage can in front of his knee? Awesome move there as well. The steel steps. There was a point in the match also where Ciampa took out some tree cutters or whatever it was. He chopped off the ropes underneath the ring. I thought maybe he was like taking off the supports. We would see like the ring collapsing somehow or something like that. But I didn't realize he was taking off the mat so the way the wood would be exposed. I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna happen here? And it looked like he was about to hit Gargano. Was like a suplex off the turnbuckle into that wooden floor. Thank God though it didn't happen. Well, yet. And then Johnny got out of it and kicked Tommaso in the face. And he did the whole thing. He threw the garbage can on top of Ciampa, and he did the whole thing with DIY used to do, like set up for that kick. They used to do it going like this and whatnot. And he kicked him right into the garbage can. There was sometimes where I thought blood was coming. That's one thing I was a little disappointed with. I wanted a little bit more blood, but like a little bit of blood, but there wasn't really too much, especially after the segment 2 weeks ago, wherever Gargano threw Ciampa into the Titantron, and he was bleeding a little bit there. I thought there was going to be some blood. I mean, Johnny had a little bit around his nose. Unfortunately, though, it didn't quite capitalize on it. But then the interesting part, a part that I kept saying needed to happen. Well, also I forgot to mention also, they also use the steel stairs as well. They did like that white noise move, like the same move that Sheamus uses called white noise, but I forgot what Ciampa calls it on the steel steps. Ciampa did it on the Gargano on the steel steps. He ran Johnny. Johnny's head was resting on the stairs one time. He threw a garbage can at him, and Johnny's head got hit by the garbage can, and with the steel steps by impact, pretty much. It was awesome there. And there was a time also where like Ciampa about a knee to Johnny's face from the steel steps, but Johnny got out of the way and his knee ran to the wall. And then Ciampa, a little bit later on in the match, this is like where the big turning point in the match had. This is where things went to a whole nother level. Ciampa picked up Gargano. They're walking up the ramp. I've been saying for weeks, and even whenever before I kept saying that there has to be a match at TakeOver Chicago 2 between two. It has to happen because that's where the turn happened. That's where this all began 392 days ago. Ciampa was taking Gargano up the ring. Pretty much, just yelling at him, playing, we were best friends. We did this and that and this and that. And then he get back to where they were standing at last year before the turn happened. And Ciampa was mocking and bye-bye, Johnny, bye-bye, Candice, doing all this crap to him. And then he turned Johnny, and just like he did last year when he did the turn, he threw Johnny into the stage. It was literally a reenactment of what exactly happened last year. It was symbolic, and it meant something. I was hoping Johnny would have done it instead, but he eventually did. As he beat him down, he got Johnny up onto the top of these big crates. And I am just like, oh, shit, he's not going to do it. And it looked like, again, Tommaso was going to take Johnny and hit him with, the white noise or whatever it was. Again, I wish I remember the name of the move, from the top of the crates. But out of the blue. But before that, also, the interesting part, too. This is important. Ciampa took off Johnny's wedding ring, and he spit on it, and he threw it, out into the crowd. Ciampa goes to pick up Gargano. Gargano is that picks him up, and he jumps off the crates, and they go crashing through the tables. The same move that Ciampa did last year that caused Gargano to leave in an ambulance. And for a while, it looked like it was going to be the same thing too. Johnny was sitting up on the crates watching Ciampa just like he did last year, but I could tell something was bothering Johnny. And I noticed he kept looking at his finger, the same finger where his wedding ring was on. And I see the tension building in Gargano. It was a side of Johnny I had never seen before. He gets down from the crates. I'm like, no, you're not going to do it. I thought he was going to go straight for the stretcher. Johnny starts like literally pushing all the security and all the doctors out of the way just to get his hands on Ciampa and beat the hell out of him. He just saw red, and he wanted Ciampa dead pretty much. He took the stretcher back down, and again, he was trying to break it up. Johnny kept throwing punches. He didn't care. He just wanted to literally rip Tommaso to shreds. Earlier in the match, Ciampa brought out a set of handcuffs. He tried to handcuff Johnny to the ropes. Oh, that's right. Also, I also forgot to mention a spot also in the match earlier on where Ciampa had Johnny's head in the middle of a chair, the same way how Kevin Owens wrote off Chris Jericho off TV off SmackDown last year, and he slammed Johnny's head and neck with the chair around it into the steel steps. I'm sure that crushed Johnny's Adam's apple. But anyways, the referee, Johnny knocked out the referee. He knocked out like everybody trying to break it up, but he threw the handcuffs on Ciampa, and he literally started beating the hell out of Ciampa with the handcuffs on. And then finally, when Johnny broke free, he thought he was going to be able to get his final revenge on Ciampa for good. Unfortunately, his actions cost him because he gets back to the ring despite being handcuffed. Ciampa hooks Johnny around the head, and he, does a DDT on him onto that wooden part of the ring that Ciampa exposed earlier in the match. Ciampa laid on top of Johnny so he couldn't pin him due to the handcuffs, and Tommaso Ciampa wins the match. The crowd went silent. It reminded me of how the crowd reacted. Like Johnny had it all in the palm of his hands. He got the handcuffs and everything. But of course, you feel it, Johnny's actions were going to cost him. And that's what happened. It came back to bite. It looked like he had everything. He had Ciampa right in the palm of his hands. He was going to get that final revenge on him and just destroy him once and for all. That unfortunately, it did not work because Ciampa just, turned the tables on him pretty much. Tommaso Ciampa wins the match. Afterwards, Candice LeRae comes out to check on Johnny. And then, Tommaso gets out of the ring and he starts smirking and laughing I got you, haha, saying on the stage, going like this. And the show goes off the air. We're hearing "fuck you, Ciampa" chants in the crowd also. Again, Ciampa pushed Johnny over the edge. He pushes emotions to a whole nother level. I really don't think this feud's over. What I would like to see happen at TakeOver Brooklyn 4 is a match that my good friend Daniel Geiser suggested. He thought that we should have had for this show. A Hell in a Cell match. There hasn't been a Hell in a Cell match in NXT, and based off of what we got tonight, this feud feels like it needs to be taken there. I'd say either Hell in a Cell or 3 stages of hell. But that should be the main event for TakeOver Brooklyn 4 is a Hell in a Cell match between Gargano and Ciampa. And I think it would be awesome. It just does not feel like it's over. I thought some way, Ciampa would win and this would be end the feud. No. It doesn't feel that way. It really feels like there's one more match for this. And it's probably going to take over Brooklyn 4, and I cannot wait. I'm dying to see what happens next. Man, what a show. What a night. What a main event. An unreal Chicago stream. Again, my favorite part was still when they did pretty much symbolically did exactly what happened the year before, where the turn happened. And it looked like Tommaso was going to be setting Johnny Wayne on ambulance again. Gargano turned the tables on him. Unfortunately, with the holding of the wedding ring and his temporary thing, it costed him. Hell in a Cell, though, I feel is the way to go to end this feud. And I'll give a credit to my friend Daniel Guyza for that. Ciampa versus Gargano 3 inside Hell in a Cell. That's what I think should happen. Live chat. Let's see what we got here. Gargano and Ciampa will main event Brooklyn, also calling it now in a Hell in a Cell match. I did not look at your thing, Dakota, but yeah, Hell in a Cell. Nigel a heel or a face commentary. It feels like he is mixed, and Percy and Ronaldo are face. I feel like Nigel's some of a heel. I was hoping it was reversed completely, and it was Johnny doing it all. He should have waited until the announcer said, "Your winner, Johnny Gargano," but knockout, then attack him after he won. Part 3, book it, Brooklyn Hell in a Cell. Only way to win is by knockout. Whoa, by knockout. I love it. I haven't seen a 3 stages of Hell match forever, but I love the 3 stages of Hell match. Either them or Ambrose and Rollins, I feel right now, is a feud that would be worthy of Hell in a Cell, definitely. I have it. Ciampa lays out Gargano at Brooklyn. Ciampa debuts on the main roster. Then a few months later, Gargano surprises everyone coming back from injury and attacking Ciampa on the main roster. That would be nice if that happened, just so we can, kind of like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn it. That way, we can get the feud going up on there. Who knows? It could be a WrestleMania match next year. Maybe, I don't know, but that's what could happen inside the Hell in a Cell match at Brooklyn. But one more match I feel is coming. Hell in a Cell would definitely be the ideal case. But yep, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much, Dakota and Raises Fan Rocks 4. Thank you for joining me in the live chat. And yeah, the main roster will most likely ruin them, though. However, the whole feud. But yeah. Thank you guys for joining me in the live chat. Before we go off the air, I have several polls on Twitter. See if anybody would participate in any of them. But there's a lot of things I was curious about hearing from fans after this pay-per-view. So the first question is only got 2 votes. What grade would you give NXT TakeOver Chicago to? A, B, C, or D? 2 votes. Everybody said A, of course. If you didn't, no offense, you're ridiculous. But I respect your opinion. 2 votes for which of the 2 Gargano and Ciampa matches have you enjoyed most so far? 2 votes, both known for the Chicago street fight. Nobody said the unsanctioned match. And then 1 vote for what was match of the night. And that only vote was for Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. And then which NXT TakeOver do you think was better? 12 votes on this one. Nobody said Philadelphia. 58% said New Orleans. 42% said Chicago. So are my answers. Definitely give this show an A+. I definitely think the Chicago street fight was the best match so far between Gargano and Ciampa. I still could kind of give the nod a little bit, though, to the Gargano and Ciampa match. I still feel that was the best match of the night, but Ricochet and Velveteen Dream came up pretty close. As far as which pay-per-view I feel is better, I'm still stuck between New Orleans and Chicago. Now, my thing is Chicago is awesome. I feel like, some of the matches were a little bit better than New Orleans. But the thing about New Orleans, though, is the fact that New Orleans had some title changes. It had, some career-defining moments. It had, an unexpected heel turn involved in it. Chicago was, just a classic legendary show wrestling. But, nothing really, changed much. There was no new champions and whatnot. So that's why I would still give the slight edge to TakeOver New Orleans, just a slight bit of an edge to them. But TakeOver Chicago, I still deserves an A+ also, but I still feel New Orleans may have just be out just a little bit because of the moments that New Orleans had also in there. But TakeOver Chicago was still, an outstanding pay-per-view. I definitely would not, down it at all. But yeah, guys, thank you again, Dakota. We'll see if he says anything in the live chat here. But was match of the night, or was only because of the ladder match. Oh well, yeah, the ladder match also. I'm calling it now. TakeOver Brooklyn will be the best takeover to date. It very well could be. I mean, wouldn't surprise me since TakeOver Brooklyn is where it all began for NXT TakeOvers being live on TV. I gotta say, yeah, that probably will be it. But yeah, guys. I think I'm going to check out now here. I'm going to record also my next SummerSlam retro review real quick before I go to bed. Also, I give it these times. I have a double header tomorrow for softball. And then I'll be watching Money in the Bank at a friend's house tomorrow night. So I'll hopefully be up here live after Money in the Bank on tomorrow night to do my live review. I should be. So guys, again, what grade would you give NXT TakeOver Chicago 2? What pay-per-view have you enjoyed more so far? What was the best match of the night? And which match was the better match between Gargano and Ciampa? The unsanctioned match or the street fight? Your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you're always click by, like, and subscribe more content to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. It's been a great start to a great weekend for us wrestling fans. And hopefully Money in the Bank can at least be a solid to good show tomorrow as well. So, guys, I am checking out. Until then, guys, have a great night and peace out, everybody.